And now it's time for Make It Happen with David Lorms. He is an award-winning insurance expert, best-selling author, and business owner talking about how to make your life, your career, and business better. Here's David.
Welcome to another episode of Make It Happen with David Lorms, and today we really have somebody who has truly made it happen. We have the talented and lovely Chloe Dow. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining the show. I think you have an incredible story, and I really appreciate you coming here to help inspire and motivate other people. And we can't start talking without mentioning the fact that you were the Season 2 winner of Project Runway.
Yes, long time.
Tell me about that. How did you get involved in it?
You know what? I actually saw season 1, and I actually saw the casting for season 1. And I was debating to go or not, but it was the day before the casting. It was in Miami, so I had no time. So when I saw season 1 on Brava, I just loved it. I just loved the concept of it. And so when I realized season 2 casting was in Houston, Texas, I thought, okay, let me try out. And I decided to try out the day of the tryout. So I woke up and made a dress and to show them that I can sew super fast. And
you woke up and made a dress.
And so,
I can barely wake up and make toast.
But that's, I wanted to show them that I can be fast technically. And so I, won that dress on the tryout and say, hey, I made it this morning.
Oh my gosh. That must have been blown away.
I guess I made it in.
You did. But a lot of people don't know you were already designing and had your own store prior to the show. Is that right?
Definitely. I actually was already in business for 4 years. When I tried out for Project Runway, I had my store. I've actually was in New York working for 8 years prior to that. So I actually had already 12 years in the fashion business. And,
yes.
I was 34 when I went on that show. So a lot of people didn't realize. Mm-hmm.
You look so much younger than that.
Oh, yeah, 10 years ago. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but it is radio.
Well, by taking that route of going on the show versus continuing your path in New York, there were a lot of people watching you because that was kind of a courageous move on your part.
Well, I actually worked in New York for 8 years before I opened my store. So after I won Project Runway, I really didn't feel the need to go back to New York. I've done everything that I needed to do in New York. I was in the industry, worked with big companies, worked with Neiman Marcus and Saks, done the fashion shows. Not my own line, but working with companies that are, very, very successful, and I learned everything I needed to do. I mean, I was a buyer, I was assistant designer, I was a pattern maker, I've done everything in the fashion field. So I just felt like it was really about my business, my own personal business, and my own personal path.
Well, that was a huge leap that you made, a leap of faith, and you were a clear winner. I watched that season, and you did some great work. But before we talk more about that, I'd like for you to share with us your beginnings because you're originally from Vietnam.
I'm actually Vietnamese, but I was born in Laos.
Laos.
Came to the United States when I was, depending which memory, sometimes I say 6, 7, 8, I don't remember, I have a bad memory, but came here pretty early. There's, my family of 8 girls, my mom and dad, we all came together, and, we started like any other refugee family. We stayed with my uncle, my mom and dad, my mom had like 3 jobs, my dad had probably 2 jobs, and 8 girls not really speaking English, but at the same time, I really, when I got here, I really lived the American dream. I mean, I was a cheerleader. I wrote in the school newspaper.
Wow.
Latin club. I played tennis. I mean, pretty much all American as you can get. But at the same time, also living kind of like the American dream, because during the weekend in junior high, we actually didn't have any weekend because we had to go home and get ready for the flea market, because we actually had a little food stand or food restaurant, I guess. It was tiny, but we had to, make shish kebabs for that. We had to make ice. We, slice up make egg rolls, make wonton, prepare the hamburger meat. I mean, hardcore. So we worked hard during school, did all that, cheerleading and stuff. But then during the weekend, we worked at the flea market, and on Friday was after school is when you started doing work. So, I literally understand hard work from early on.
Early on. Now, what age were you when y'all landed in the U.S.?
I think honestly, I think it was 7 or 8.
7 or 8, and where did y'all immigrate to?
We actually stayed in Dallas, I think, for the first year, and then after we came here to Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. And I think I read somewhere that at the age of 10, you had discovered your interest in fashion design, and y'all were of modest means, and so you would get secondhand clothes and redesign them.
Yeah, definitely. I actually kind of started doing that more in high school with actually junior high with redesigning vintage clothes. I think the first thing that I ever made was jewelries for my dad's stuff in the garage, and it was like washers and little, I think they're called washers.
Yes,
and so I made earrings with those, and there's a picture of me from junior high with those earrings on.
Well, I what I think is neat is that you started redesigning clothes rather than putting stuff on it as a youngster, and that carried out throughout your career because you had been challenged. Was it for AIDS that you were given a male jean jacket, and you had to remake it and remake it into a feminine jacket, and you said my style's not to put bling and stuff on it, it's to redesign it. And on your blog, on your website, which I think everyone should go to, what is the name of your website?
ChloeDowd.com.
It's an amazing website. She has a blog that she records everything she does.
I try.
And it's fantastic. But it shows that jean jacket, how you didn't add anything, you just redesigned it, and it's unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. I really am not a embellishment bling bling designer. I really appreciate it. I want to be more of that, but I'm really more about cut and shape and fit.
Yes.
And really showcasing the femininity and celebrating, really. I love the woman's curve, so I really don't try to hide it at all. There's always something showing. So, yeah, I love that you appreciate that, and because this is what I really, I think it's makes you a difference between, a really great designer and a designer is cut and shape and fit, because that's what makes the difference.
Well, and I think it really speaks to your talent because anyone can hot glue. Crystals on the cuff or what have you, but you don't do that. You redesign it, rip it apart.
When I'm desperate, I do hot glue, though.
But from the age of 10, you noticed that you were really interested in design. And so how did you carry that forth?
I was interested in design, but I think what really kind of jumpstart my real hardcore interest was, making those shish kebab on a Saturday morning, watching Style with Elsa Clinch is what really opened my eye to what the world fashion was. I mean, it was, early 80s. It was the only
She was really the only one that was
the
doing
pioneer.
Fashion. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the beginning of cable before, internet didn't exist yet. I'm really dating myself.
No, but I was there too.
Oh, yeah. So you get to see the beginning of how Valentina started, Armani, Montana that doesn't exist anymore, Versace, the House of Versace, houses that are like pioneers now that, legendary, but they were just starting in the early 80s. And you get to be in that world, and Elsa Clinch really opened my eyes to see what the fashion world was all about, and that's how I got really interested in it.
Did you do studies, like you go to the library and start studying fashion design at that time on your own, or? No,
I just was reading Vogue and Elle, because I don't think I even realized there's fashion history book even back then.
Right.
I was just, but no, I think what really got me into really following my dream, because even after I made my prom dress, my first dress I ever made from scratch was my prom dress. So I actually got help from a friend of mine. Was really the movie Dead Poet Society, Robin Williams.
Yes.
I mean, he really did change my life in that movie, because after I saw that movie, I was, I think, a freshman at U of H, and I was studying business, and that was my way into fashion, because business, I was going to be a fashion buyer.
Right.
I really didn't think I could be a fashion designer, because back then, you just don't hear that much about it, except with Style with Elsa Clinch. And once I saw Dead Poet Society, I dropped out of U of H and enrolled in Houston Community College Fashion School, and that's how I really started fashion.
What a bold move. How did your parents take that?
They probably thought I was crazy, but I think
they're grateful now.
Yeah, but I think the crazier thing I've done really was I was supposed to go to New York for a weekend to see if I like New York, but I actually called my mom and said I'm not coming home. So I didn't come home for a year.
What?
Yeah.
How did they make the shish kebabs and wontons without you?
By that time, we sold that business.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I was in college already. Oh, yeah. But that's following your dream and making it happen, like you said,
And that's very inspirational because sometimes you have to take a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You have to follow your passion, and then it seems to happen, right? I think that that's true. And so you got into FIT, and you're studying fashion, and what happens from that?
I love going to FIT. I love being in New York because you're really surrounded by the whole fashion aspect. You're surrounded by the community. I mean, the beauty going to FIT is listening to Oscar De Renta come and talk, listening to Jeffrey Bean come and talk.
That's got to be amazing to see those icons.
Oh, yeah, to have that opportunity to be in the same room with them and listen to their experience. I graduated with a pattern making degree because I was too vain to think I need a design degree. Because, I really wanted to understand pattern making and production because I think just working with my mom and parents and just having, coming from a family of business owner, I thought the most important thing about being a fashion designer was understanding the production, how to produce it and all that cost aspect. But, you do need a fashion design degree if you want to be a fashion designer. So don't get me wrong. I just did it a different way, but I think it's very important. But I worked in the industry for 6 years, 2 years of school there. And I've done, as assistant pattern maker, Affinity Sportswear, designers at Melinda Ng, and production manager. I've been a buyer also. I knew going to New York when I moved there that I wanted to have my own business. So I covered the gamut of the fashion industry. So
that was your goal from the beginning. You knew that the end was going to be owning your own business, so you planned your education and your experience so that you could open your own business.
Definitely. I knew I wanted to be a business owner. So that's why I took every kind of job that was in fashion.
I think that's a powerful statement because a lot of people don't realize that if you don't have a goal, you don't know how to shoot for a target if you don't have the target. And that's pretty smart for you.
Oh, yeah. You have to have a strategy, you know, in life. I mean, you can't plan for everything. I didn't plan for Project Runaway. But, you got to be open to opportunities. But at the same time, you got to have some kind of guideline. What's the end goal?
What was your favorite part of the experience? I mean, was there one job that you had until you opened up your own store that you really felt you learned the most from?
Oh, yes. I think the job that I had with Melinda Ng, because I started that company and worked with that company when I was at Affinity Sportswear, but my dream job was an evening wear company.
Yes.
And my friend of mine actually said, hey, you know what? I'm having a party. There's a fashion designer named Melinda Ng. She's going to be at the party. She sells at Bergdorf Goodman, couture evening wear. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's the market I really want to be in. And this is actually one of my favorite stories to tell because I got there and I really wanted this job. And I drank a glass of champagne and I came up to her and I said, you want me, you need me. I'm going to be the best person you're ever going to find.
Again, a bold move. And
she hired me based on those crazy sentences.
Well, I think you have to show confidence.
You do.
So people can believe you, right?
And you have to believe in yourself. Even though there are moments where I doubt myself, at the end of the day, I know I'm a hard worker. I think that what sustained me through everything. Am I the best designer? Do I think I'm the bomb and all that stuff? I think it's great to have those moments, but at the same time, you have to have, humility towards yourself, but confidence at the same time because you have to somehow have it in you that you want this.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that your favorite part was the evening wear because, as you know, I've been in your store, and I'm going to tell that story a little bit later because I didn't buy something for myself.
You can, though. We don't have to talk about it.
No, but you have some incredible evening wear in your store, so you can tell that that's one of your favorite things to do. So let's tell everybody where your store is, by the way.
My store is at 6127 Kirby Drive in the Rice Village. We've been there for 14 years now. And it's really great because it's a mixture of my design. So it's not just all my stuff. It's also local designers, local jewelry designer also besides fashion designers. But I love being a buyer. So we mix it in with other designers from London, Australia, New York, LA, all over the world. And it's great because it really is just a mixture of everything. It's something for everyone. I think what's interesting is a lot of people are intimidated when they think, oh, it's Chloe Dow, it's going to be really expensive. But I think, hey, it's really something for everyone.
You have price points for everyone. And we'll talk about that more after we come back from these messages. But I want to remind our listeners that you can tweet your questions to David L. at David L 2490 or private message me from Facebook at Make It Happen with David Lorms. And we'll be back after these messages with the lovely Chloe Dow.
Texas Community Referral Network is all about the community. Have access to the best businesses on our local websites and numerous money-saving offers on our free mobile app. Go to tcrnhouston.com to find your community website and visit your mobile app store to install the free TCRN app and start saving today. TCRN, connecting you with the community.
Do you trust your insurance agent? Hi, my name is David Lorms. Anyone can sell you insurance, but I have the unique perspective and experience of being a former claims professional. It's when you need to use your insurance that you really depend on a seasoned professional where customer satisfaction is number one. I can be reached at 713-688-8669, and all calls are rolled to my personal cell phone after hours. You can also visit lormsinsuranceservices.com. Hey, I have to sleep at night, so I need to make sure you're covered.
Tired of going to the same restaurants every week? Want to know what new eateries have opened up recently? Tune in to the Food Rampage as Dominique and Priya dish about their favorite restaurants. Catch us live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on kbrzsports.com and iHeartRadio for the live show. Be sure and follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at Food Monsters. Join us as we rampage through the Houston area.
Some of our most successful insurance agents in the Houston area are in the multicultural market. In fact, over 40% of our market here is Hispanic or Asian, with both growing rapidly. There has never been a better time for bilingual individuals to join our team of business owners here at Farmers Insurance District 30. Contact us at 281-596-9730 or at www.farmersdistrict30.com and come join a winning team.
This is Anuj Shah of the award-winning law office of Anuj A. Shah. We are a full-service immigration law firm serving the greater Houston area and beyond. Whether you're an employer seeking to hire a professional from overseas, an individual who happens to fall in love with a foreign national, or someone who unfortunately finds themselves in deportation proceedings, I can represent you. I was honored to be one of Houstonia Magazine's top attorneys in 2013. Call me at 713-975-1128 or visit us on the web at shaw-law.com. Se habla español.
And we're back with one of the top fashion designers, Chloe Dow, which you didn't start out being one of the top fashion designers. And we were talking before the break about Project Runway and how that really exposed you to the masses. And so looking back, would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's an amazing experience. And it's still ongoing. It's season 13.
I know.
Holy moly.
But it's changed. Even from season 1 to season 2, you were the first one to get the big prize.
Mm-hmm. I was very fortunate that, the contract was pretty dang good when I won. And, I was able to be represented by DMA. And they were amazing because they actually, I was on QVC for 3 years because of that. I did as a Dove spokesperson for a while for, Dove Deodorant Clear. So I still remember.
You were in those commercials, right?
Yes. So it's an amazing experience what I was able to experience, all this different opportunity. I would definitely do it again. I was able to do Project Runway Vietnam last year because of my experience on Project Runway.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, most definitely. And, I mean, it
opened a lot of doors for you.
Definitely.
Thank goodness you won.
Yes. I mean, that's why everybody, would you do it again? Yeah, I won. But I think if I didn't even win, I think I would still have done it because I didn't go in there thinking I'm going to win. I went up there just to see you.
Well, even really some of the folks it looked like that didn't win, like Santino Rice, he's gone on to be pretty well known.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He does RuPaul Drag Race.
Yeah. But he has his clothing line, too. Doesn't he? I thought he did, but anyway,
I don't follow Santino, so I don't know.
Well, when I was doing some research on you, I saw his name, so
we're connected for life.
You're connected. Google has you connected. But we were also talking about the fact that you had a store prior to Project Runway, and at the time it was named Lot 8. Mm-hmm. And wasn't that because you have 8 sisters?
There's 8 girls in my family. I'm number 6. I keep thinking I'm number 7. I don't know why, but I'm number 6. It was named Lot 8, Lot of Us, but it's also named because there was this amazing club called Lot 61 in New York, and I like the name of it, but I thought it would be perfect, Lot 8.
8 girls and no boys.
No boys. My mom kept trying for a boy. That's why there's 8 of us.
Oh, I was gonna say, did she know bridge? Did she have a hobby?
The hobby was trying to produce a boy.
Well, and I've had the luck to at least meet one of your sisters, because at the time you had Lot 8 open, you also had a salon in the back, correct?
Yes, my sister Christine had the salon in the back. We just wanted to be a one-stop service because, you know, when you're looking for a dress, you're going somewhere and you're always going to get your hair done and makeup done. So we thought, you know, that would be a perfect combination.
Sure.
And it was really successful where they actually had to move out to, you know, but she's still in the Rice Village. She's still under Lot 8 Salon.
Oh, and she's great, and she's thriving over there.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you have to go by both places if you're in the Rice Village. So that's great. So tell me, what are your other sisters doing?
So I'll go in order. My sister Diane's the pharmacist. She's the oldest. Then Linda works at Shell or Texaco, one of the oil company.
Okay.
Christine's the, you know, Lot 8 salon owner. Trin works for HP, project manager. Jasmine works for some company that does data, project manager. Then me, and then Kim is a stay-home mom. She used to be a teacher, and then Sydney works with me. She managed the store, my PR. She's I couldn't do it without her. That's all. Yeah,
so
she does everything.
Who's the black sheep? Because we all have one in our family.
I think there's 2. I think the black sheep of the family is actually probably Sydney and I.
You?
No.
The black sheep?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, because I really have done my own thing.
Right.
I've really, you know, and actually there's probably my sister Jasmine. She's quirky and she's unusual. She follows her own path.
Well, I have to say that I agree with you in the fact that you've been a pioneer, because if you go to her website, which is chloedow.com, she has a wonderful blog that details all of her collections, and she's got some videos there where you can see some of her, you know, couture lines that she's done, and I just have to say that's an amazing thing. You know, I'm not big into women's fashion, but I couldn't stop reading.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I could entertain you and educate you.
Well,
that's the goal.
That's the goal, right? And you do a fine job. Now, tell me, why did you change the name from Lot 8 to what it
Great
is
question.
now?
I actually, you know, had dinner with one of the smartest lady there ever is, Janet Gerwich. She was the founder of Laura Mercier Makeup, and International is a ginormous makeup line. And I was this part where I was thinking what to do with my business. I wasn't on QVC anymore, and she said, Chloe, your name means something.
Yes.
So you need to change your store to Chloe Dow versus Lot 8 because your name is a brand.
That's right.
Yeah, so I accepted it.
And it's brilliant. It's really brilliant that you did that.
It was so smart.
In my opinion.
It's really smart. I mean, I don't want, you know, I'm just very modest. I'm humble. But, you know, you have to realize it does mean something. It has, you know, I work hard all this year.
Yes.
You know, for the work behind my name, what it means, what it stands for. So I guess it was just time.
And all the top designers do it.
Yes.
And it's prestigious. Oh, I've got a Chloe Dow versus Lot 8.
I love how you said that. But I miss my baby Lot 8, so maybe I'll do like a subline Lot 8. But yeah, definitely it's great to have a Chloe Dow piece, and you know, and it does mean a lot more. You know, my shopping bag says my name, my tag, my store. So you know, when I'm creating a plate, I mean, my pieces and designing, there's, you know, a big deeper meaning because it's my name on it.
Well, there's one thing I have to say that I really like about you, and there's many things, but one thing that I really like about you is how humble and gracious and just like a normal person you are. I remember that after you won season 2, my little goddaughter Greer was very young, and she wanted to come and meet you at the store, and you weren't there. But your sister had the salon, gave her a free blowout, and got you on the phone, and you talked to her, and so we kept missing you over the years. But last summer, she was 15 and finally big enough to buy something of yours, and you personally fitted her and altered the garment for her, and she was just on cloud 9. I mean, to own a Chloe Dow and have Chloe Dow do this for you, and you're a 15-year-old girl, she was on cloud 9. How do people do that? I just think that's amazing that you're like that. You know, you work at your store.
I do. I work at the store. You know, I make everything here locally in the Heights. You know, you see me there. I mean, people don't realize I live in Houston, Texas. You know, they're always like, "Oh, when are you back in town?" I'm like, "I'm always here, people." You know, I think that's the beauty of my store and my business is that you actually do get me, or you get people that I work with or train. you know, if you love me, you're accessible. I think the key word, I'm accessible.
Yes.
I'm, you know, one of the few designers that you can come and talk with, and I love talking to customers and fan, and really, I'm really about educating women about fashion more than anything else, because I really want to show them how to dress well. Besides dressing them, it's really just showing them. I think that's what I love, and the motto of my store is like shopping with your trusted girlfriend who's highly educated about fashion, of course. You know?
Well, I like that. And your willingness, I mean, you'll custom, you know, design, obviously.
I'll be honest, I don't do custom. I do tweaking custom.
Tweaking custom.
So, yeah.
But from the blog and from what I read about you, you really take in consideration what the client wants. Your goal is to make them happy, not to create something you think they should have.
Most definitely. I think that's why I don't do so much custom designing, because I take it so seriously that I would spend nights and sleepless nights about things that will make them happy. And so I really do want to make my client happy, but at the same time, as a designer, you want to put your viewpoint, and that's why they come to you as a designer. So I am really, really thoughtful when it comes to that, because, you know, it's at the end of the day, you're dressing someone for their event.
Right.
It's not about you.
Right. Well, one of those custom designs on the blog was from The Little Couple.
Yes.
On what reality program is that?
TLC, The Little Couple.
Yes. And they were going to renew their vows, and the husband had come to you and asked you to create a dress, and he gave you a color, and that was about it.
Yes, for Jen, I'll do custom. I love Jen. She's so sweet. I've done a few custom pieces for her, so I do custom. You're right.
Well, but she can't buy off the rack. She
No,
can't
she
buy
can't.
off the rack because of her size.
Yeah.
But you just the story went on that you didn't have any measurements.
No.
And how did you end up getting that? Didn't you have to borrow some dress, stake them out?
Well, you know, I'd done a few pieces for Jen before, many years ago. That's what people don't realize. Probably maybe 2-3 years ago. And, you know, she's gone through chemo. I knew she lost weight, but Bill kept saying, oh, no, she's the exact same shape. So I did ask him to steal some dresses from her closet. But when I got them,
and
they were like spandex stretchy knit. It doesn't really mean anything. I'm sorry. And then, you know, there's different sizes. And it was such a range of dresses that actually just confused me more. It was just like, I was very confused.
Didn't help.
It didn't help, but I actually had some older patterns that I made from her that kind of helped. But honestly, it was a guessing game. Because I draped it on a normal mannequin that I normally drape all my fashion shows on 6-foot tall models.
Sure.
And then I just literally shrunk it in guessing.
Yeah.
Just keep on guessing.
And it ended up fitting.
With some minor changes, but yes, it was really great, because when I zipped it up and her mom saw it, she said, oh my God, it fit perfectly. In my head, like, oh no, tweak here.
Well, it's because you're the designer.
But, you know, her mom was like, Judy was like, oh my God, Chloe, how did you get it so good in the first try? But believe me, it was definitely a sleepless night before fitting her. I was, you know, I looked like I was freaking out, because I really
Well, it was a gorgeous dress. Have you ever thought about making something like it in a larger size?
It's so funny. Once it was air, a lot of people email me, can you make it in a larger size? I'm just like, no.
It's original.
Because it's a couture piece. There was like 4 layers, you know, silk chenille, silk chiffon, China silk, 2 layers, and then shirring, hand tagging. So even the top layer had 6 layers.
Yeah.
So she really had a couture piece. And so it would be really, really expensive.
Yeah, well, and it's Tiffany blue. And for the ladies out there, or even men that are interested, go to the blog at chloedow.com and see it, because it's simply gorgeous.
Thank you. And I really showcase how I started from, you know, I took picture of different things that I was, you know, sketches that I gave to him to improve. So you really get to see the behind the scene of how that dress was created.
I like that. And I like that you have a relationship with them, because they seem like such nice people.
They're so sweet. And actually just yesterday, Jen dropped off a bottle of Dom Perignon for me to thank. So thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. I haven't popped it yet. But
Jen, my address is. No, I'm kidding.
It's amazing. So thank you.
Well, it's nice that people are so appreciative of your work.
And I'm appreciative of my customers and everyone that's been with us for so long.
So tell me, would you ever do QVC again?
I would love to do QVC again. I mean, QVC actually made me a really, really thoughtful designer. I did for 3 years. So the challenge with doing QVC is I actually had to design a top that fit extra small up to 3X.
And a lot of them.
And, you know, and a lot of them. So, and a different age group, you know, from 24 to 70 or 80.
That's a lot of work.
So to design a piece that it's great for me, for my niece, for my mom, that's a challenge. But it actually made me so much more thoughtful of what looks good on everyone versus, tall, skinny, sexy dresses.
Sure.
So it made me a much better designer.
So what's kept you from, starting a line that could be at Nordstrom's or what have you? A lot of designers do that.
Well, one thing, it takes a lot of money. So I guess investors. I've always been a sole business owner.
Yes.
So maybe I'm open to it now. So whoever. But the fashion industry is very challenging. So if you're in Nordstrom or Saks or Neiman's, it's a whole different ballgame. You're selling at the wholesale price point.
Yes.
You got to meet their deadlines. You're in the hands of the buyers. They have a lot of control.
Right.
And you have to meet a certain sale through on the floor. If you don't reach it, there's chargeback money. It's more challenging, and I like having a bit of a control. But it's not like I'm not open to it. At this point, I'm happy where I'm at, but you never know.
Well, it's still very prestigious to own a Chloe Dow. I was telling you during the break, I just wish you would make men's shirts, because some of your collections, I'm like, okay, cut off the skirt, I'll wear the top. Only if you made it a little more masculine than that. But I want to remind the listeners that they can tweet us at DavidL2490 with any of your questions, or private message us at Make It Happen with David Lorms on Facebook. We're already getting questions in, so we're going to talk about that in the fourth segment. But we'll be back with Chloe Dow after these messages.
Ball thrown in deep by Matthews. Header into the back of the net, and the Clements Rangers are up 1-0 in the 5A state finals.
K-Breeze Sports has made some off-season changes, and we're ready for another year of action. Starting this fall, tune your radio dial to K-Breeze Sports 106.1 FM because of its Fort Bend ISD athletics. We've got it covered.
59-59, 2 seconds to go. I don't even think I can look at this one, but I have to look at it so I can describe it to you.
Do you trust your insurance agent? Hi, my name is David Lorms. Anyone can sell you insurance, but I have the unique perspective and experience of being a former claims professional. It's when you need to use your insurance that you really depend on a seasoned professional where customer satisfaction is number one. I can be reached at 713-688-8669, and all calls are rolled to my personal cell phone after hours. You can also visit lormsinsuranceservices.com. Hey, I have to sleep at night, so I need to make sure you're covered.
Ladies and gentlemen, K-Breeze Sports is back for the fall 2014 season of Fort Bend ISD Varsity Sports. Listen live at 106.1 FM and online at kbreezesports.com as our broadcasters bring you all the varsity action live from the booth. Follow us on Twitter at KBreeze Sports to keep up with the broadcast schedule. KBreeze Sports, your home for Fort Bend ISD varsity athletics.
Time and money, the two things an entrepreneurial startup or a business owner of a small to mid-sized business always need more of. iCoach Business Pros, a partnered affiliate with Growth Coaching Systems Network, has answers and solutions to better utilize time and not waste money. Excellence has no limits, and neither should you. Contact iCoach today at 713-345-0223 or visit the owner online at briankaiser.me. Contact iCoach today at 713-345-0223 or visit the owner online at briankaiser.me.
3rd down and 11 from the half-inch yard line. Giles takes the snap. He's going to break the tackle. He's going to be gone at the 20, 30, 40, 50.
All of us here at K-Breeze Sports want to thank you for making our first year one for the history books.
With that nice touch, Goldie comes off his line. It goes in the back of the net.
Tune your radio dial to 106.1 FM or click on kbrzsports.com.
And we're back with one of the nation's top designers, Chloe Dow. You can find her at chloedao.com. That's CHLOEDAO.com. See some of her fabulous designs and some of her previous seasons of couture, and you're just going to be blown away. And another thing that I really like about you is that you're not in business for yourself. You like to give back to the community, and I'd like for you to explain to your listeners about your pink scarf campaign.
Oh, wow. I've been doing it for, I think, 6 or 7 years now. So I design Think Pink Scarf every year for
breast cancer.
For breast cancer, but yes, there's a certain sorority that I can't remember.
Zeta.
Yes, Zeta. And so every year...
Zeta Tau Alpha.
Thank you so much. I do a lot of charities, so I can't remember.
You do
everything.
a lot of charities. That's right.
But it was great because I get to design a scarf, and it's given to all the breast cancer survivor every
Really?
year. Yes.
So how do the survivors get it? How do they find them?
Well, you have to be a Zeta.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
for the lunching, and then they sell it to raise money, and they've done so well that there's actually a wing at I think MD Anderson.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can people still get them?
I'm not sure, honestly, because every year is different, and this year was the first year we didn't do it. So I'm sure if you go onto the website, there are probably some that's maybe left over. I can't guarantee it.
So you can Google Zeta Tau Alpha. That's ZETA TAU Alpha ALPHA, and there are some really creative scarves that you've done over the years.
Thank you. And my blog does showcase the stuffs of like all the years I've done them.
It does, and it's really creative, and what a wonderful way to give back to the community. And that's not the only way that you do that. You've also designed T-shirts for the Fine Arts Film.
Yeah, I was amazingly honored to ask to design the T-shirt that showcased, the theater and the museum. And I love it because it's I love movies, I love the arts. I mean, what more than the great museum? And it was a bit hard because it's a whole committee. Now you're not designing for yourself; you're designing for a committee.
You're trying to
designing
please
for a
different
purpose.
people, right?
Yes.
Well, and on your blog, it shows 3 sets of designs that you came up with, and honestly, I liked them all.
Thank you, so did I.
I wanted one of those T-shirts. Can you still get them?
No, because those were just sketches. Only the final ones were made, but you can get the final one at the museum's
they're still
stores.
selling that one. And it's really creative, and it's at the Museum of Fine Arts here in Houston. But she had some really creative alternatives to pick from, and I'm sad that they didn't pick more than one because they could have raised more money. So anyway, so tell us, I'm sure it's interesting to a lot of people, not just myself, but who has been your inspiration as far as design goes?
You know what? There's 2. Jeffrey Bean is my all-time favorite designer. He's really is the epitome of what I think is a great designer. He's a great technician because he's really about cut and pattern. He's known for making a jacket with one seam.
Yes.
I think Cushion Dior was known for that too. So there's only a few designers known for that seaming detail. And there's Vionette. She's the creator of the bias gown.
Okay.
And she's also known for amazing cut and pattern work also. And of course, the modern designers like Alexander McQueen. Narciso Rodriguez is actually one of my all-time favorite designers. And I have a great story to share because when Alexander McQueen had the exhibition at the museum, my God, what's that big museum in New York?
MoMA? The Bona? The Guggenheim?
No, the Mets.
Mets, yes, I'm sorry, Mets.
And I saw Narciso Rodriguez was there, and I actually came up to him, but my toe was totally, I didn't have a perfect manicure, and I came up to say, hi, I just love your work, and I just felt my toe just curling in, trying to hide my feet. And I think he was surrounded by his entourage, and it just gave me a weird look. I'm like, this was the moment where I'm like, God, I hope he recognized that I was from Project Runway, but he didn't. Just like crazy Asian girl with bad toes trying to say hi to him. Yeah.
Well, I think one thing about you is that since Project Runway, that was, a while back, you're still called upon from various sources to be an expert, such as Vietnam Project Runway in Vietnam. But what are you still getting calls from other organizations to?
I get calls all the time. I think, because, I am an expert. I was on Project Runway,
yes.
But I think I would love to speak more, a little bit about Project Runway Vietnam. It was to be asked to be co-executive producer and the judge. On the first season of Project Runway Vietnam was mind-blowing. It was such an amazing experience to be in Vietnam. I mean, I was born in Laos, but I'm Vietnamese, so it's great to be back there and really live and work as a Vietnamese, but also Vietnamese American, and to really learn about my own culture and where I came from. Because, I feel very, very American.
Yes.
But it's great at the same time to come back and feel what your root is.
Right.
And I think part of my entrepreneurship spirit is really part of being Vietnamese, besides, having an amazing example of my mom and my dad. But, Vietnamese people can, pop down a pan and pop an egg and, sell you, a sandwich on the street, and you're in business. And I love that. I love the capitalistic, aspect of Vietnam.
That's really funny. Well, and I think that show is good because it gives those people an opportunity.
Most definitely.
To move up and make some money and make a better life for themselves. A lot of people don't probably know this, but before your store, you made some products that were for travel accessories and laptops and so forth. Tell us about that.
Well, thanks to Project Runway, I had a licensing degree to do laptop cases, luggage, cell phone cases. I was, for a while, I was in Staples internationally, I think in 1,800 stores, on Kohl's, on Dell.com, Zappos. I was pretty much, it's really great to go to Staples and like, hey, there's me in the corner, with my pictures on it. That's cool. Right? I don't even put my picture on my stuff. So that was really, really cool to have.
Do you still do that? Or?
No, I haven't done that. I think the licensing deal ended 2 years ago.
And did you decide not to do it, or?
I think it was a company, because it was a licensing deal. I think the company that was working on it decided to go into a different route.
Oh, is that right? Mm-hmm. Well, they missed the boat.
But I enjoyed it. It's great to have my own luggage. I mean, there's nothing better than the airport to, waiting for your own personal luggage with your name on it.
So what's next? I mean, have you done shoes?
I haven't done shoes, but I love to do shoes. But you know what? Next is really concentrating on my social media. I think, concentrating on my online sales, because it's a whole different ball game now. It's, the show's about making it work and inspiring people. And I think the one thing I really want to learn as a business owner is how to deal with this online social media business thing. It's a whole new world. And so that's what I'm really concentrating on, and that's what's next.
How much of your business is from online?
Not that much. That's why I'm concentrating on it. I'm trying to do more. Because it's a whole different ball game. So shop at ChloeDowd.com.
Well, and then if you're in Houston, so, that's another question I wanted to ask you. Why Houston? You made it big. Why not be back in New York? You told me this privately once, but I think that's a good question for the listeners.
Well, I love this city. I went back here in 2000 to start my business here. And just because I won Project Runway doesn't mean I'm just going to drop it and go back to New York. I've done everything I needed to do in New York. And honestly, you can have your, whatever level of success you want in Houston, Texas. The great thing about this city is you can be a small business owner like myself and be successful. I think you have a bigger possibility of being a successful business owner here in the city than in New York, especially for a fashion designer.
Because you don't have as much competition.
You don't have as much competition, but at the same time, it's about finance. Everything boils down to finance. You can have a workshop. You can have a business. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost you $11,000 a month rent for 200 square feet.
Right.
At the end of the day, it boils down to costs. And, the world, the big thing about online is you have more competitor, but you also have the opportunity to succeed.
Now, don't you have some fashion night here or fashion week, or don't you participate in something like that here in Houston?
Yes, I'm actually I have one coming up, Fashion Week in November at the Wortham, and every year I do that show. So it's open to the public. So please come. It's amazing 4 nights of fashion from really well-known international designer that comes in, and then there's also a local designer like myself, David Peck, that gets to showcase. And so you get the best of the local talent and you get the best of the world talent. I'm doing one coming up September 15th at the Woodlands, one night. And so it's great because, the city's amazing, it's supportive, and, there's people love to get dressed here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I always like to laugh because if it drops down in the 70s, the furs come out.
Yes. And I'm doing a lot of coats this year, so I hope it's like 65. Uh-huh.
Well, and so can the listeners get those dates off your website? Will they be posted on your website at ChloeDowd.com?
Definitely. I'm going to post behind the scene of creating the collection that had to get done in 2 weeks. And then, all the information will be on the website.
Super, because I think a lot of people would really enjoy going to see that.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
If you watch any of the videos from your prior collections, they're all very, very creative. I have to say you're very unique, and I like the fact that you wear your own clothes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be a model to wear my clothes. I'm not even 5 feet tall, people. So if I can wear it, everybody can wear it.
What's the largest size that you make for women?
I do a size 12 or an extra large, but I do custom size. So if you do see something that you love, you just email me and I can make it any size.
I think that's great news. Well, I want to remind the listeners that in our next segment, we're going to answer questions, and we've got a lot of them. You can tweet your questions at DavidL2490 or private message me on Facebook at Make It Happen with David Lorms, and we'll be back with Chloe Dow after these messages.
Ball thrown in deep by Matthews. Header into the back of the net, and the Clements Rangers are up 1-0 in the 5A state finals.
Everyone at K-Breeze Sports wants to thank you for making our first year a huge success. K-Breeze Sports has made some off-season changes, and we're ready for another year of action. Starting this fall, tune your radio dial to K-Breeze Sports 106.1 FM because of its Fort Bend ISD athletics. We've got it covered.
59-59, 2 seconds to go. I don't even think I can look at this one, but I have to look at it so I can describe it to you.
Hope you don't hear that sound at the 5th Annual Great Grown Up Spelling Bee on Thursday, September 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the University of Houston Sugarland. Support the Literacy Council of Fort Bend County by being a spectator bee. The cost is $45 at the door. Sponsorship and underwriting opportunities are available and range from $75 to $5,000. For more information, visit www.grownupbee.com or contact Christina Guerra at 281-240-8181. Your support can change a life.
3rd down and 11 from the half-inch yard line. Giles takes the snap. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to be gone at the 20, 30, 40, 50.
All of us here at K-Breeze Sports want to thank you for making our first year one for the history books.
With that nice touch, Goldie comes off his line. It goes in the back of the net.
Tune your radio dial to 106.1 FM or click on kbrzsports.com.
Looking for a way to be involved in Fort Bend ISD varsity sports? Want to sponsor a team, game, or hear your child's name mentioned during a Fort Bend ISD varsity game? K-Breeze Sports can broadcast your business or personal message for a reasonable price. Contact our sales department at www.kbreezeradio.com for more information on how you can be a part of Fort Bend ISD sports. K-Breeze Sports, connecting Fort Bend County business owners, families, and Fort Bend ISD varsity sports.
And we're back with one of the nation's top fashion designers here in Houston, the lovely Chloe Dow. And this segment, we want to ask you some questions. And the first one is, how did you come up with your tagline, love life, love fashion, love Chloe?
Well, I love life, and I love fashion, and I love myself. Nah. I think it's just really me. I really, truly love life. And, I think fashion is great. And, love Chloe is just a sign off as, hey, it's me. It's what I'm all about.
Well, I see it as a very inspirational statement, and what a way to advertise your brand. Love life.
Yeah.
Wear my clothes.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, I mean, it's really more like enjoy life, people.
Yes.
And love fashion, because fashion can really enhance your life.
Sure.
It really can.
Sure. Okay, another listener wants you to tell at least one Tim Gunn story.
One Tim Gunn story? What I love about Tim Gunn is that he will drop the gossip. So when we were filming season 2, we would, have to get in the van with him when we have to go to, New Jersey, do some outside challenge. So that's when you get really one-on-one, real time with Tim Gunn without any of the camera rolling. And he would tell us all about the gossip of season 1, how some people were edited, how the editing was actually much nicer on the cast than in the real what he really had to experience. I'm like, really? Tell me more, you know.
At the same time, you're like, be sure not to tell him too much.
No, but you know what? I love honesty, ugly, bad, or truth. You know, it is what it is. And I think just living in New York, you know, like and being Vietnamese, brutal honesty is a daily thing. I have no problem with it. I think that's why on Project Runway, when the designer got all emotional, I'm like, this is life. This is fashion. People are gonna love and hate you.
That's right. You're gonna have to learn to accept rejection.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, seriously. Well, okay, so we have another question, and that is, do you do any work with any animal groups for fundraising and so forth?
Yes, I did. I did a lot with SNAP for a long time. So it's been a while, but yeah, I mean, I'm open to helping out. You know, I mean, out there. I mean, I've donated. I think for a while, I donated fabric scraps to a lady who I posted on Facebook who needed, and it was actually she helps neuter cats because there's so many cats around the city. And once you have one, you know that you have 100. She says.
That's really true.
Yes.
So, I mean, you could probably even make a bandana for dogs or something.
Probably.
I don't know.
Anything
I'm putting
is
words in your mouth. But I just think you're so great that you're willing to do that and help other people because it's hard to start a business and
it's tough to sustain it too. I mean, it's everyday challenge to continue to be in business.
Speaking of that, you remodeled your store when you renamed it. I mean, you gutted it and redid it. And that's not cheap.
No, it isn't. Yes, and it was double the budget.
Those are a few dresses you have to sell for that.
But, you know, fashion is aesthetic, and it's important how you brand. It's important what atmosphere you come in to the store. I mean, we're really about an open, welcoming atmosphere, and I really wanted to, you know, reflect that in the design and in the aesthetic of the store.
One thing that I like is that your husband is so supportive. I mean, he films your videos.
He does. He edits. Yeah.
And you know, gets your crazy hours.
Oh, yeah. I met him 11 days before I went on Project Runway.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. How long did you date before you got married?
8 years? Maybe 8 years.
Okay. All right. And so do you see yourself designing baby clothes?
No. I mean, the funny story I always say if I ever was fortunate to have a baby, my baby would be in a toga. So I've always said it because, like, why make clothes for a baby? They change all the time. Pin that sucker on different drapes, you know, wash it.
You're going to dress like a Hare Krishna until you're 15 years old.
No, but I probably would, like, make an outfit every day, most likely. But no, it's always been a toga plan.
Well, I like the fact that your whole family's involved in your career or supportive in some way.
Most definitely.
And very helpful. And I think there's been some times when you've had some high manufacturing requirements that they've all chipped in.
Oh, yes. I mean, I couldn't start my business without my free laborers of my family. I started my business with my sister, Kim, and my dad and I actually did the construction and my sister on the first store. Like, I rebuilt the dressing room. We did the concrete flooring. I'm also a construction girl. I actually love construction. I'm all about DIY.
Yeah. And you've got some of that on your blog.
Oh, yeah. I will make anything. And I won't buy anything because I can make it. Shoot. But yeah, I love, it's family that actually helped me create this business. I couldn't do it without them.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention one of your assistants who's very good at detail, particularly when you were designing the Easy Curve dresses. Yes. What's her name?
Marshawn. I love Marshawn. She's on a 3-month vacation right now, but I love Marshawn.
How rude.
But she earned it and she deserved it. Oh, yeah, she's an amazing artist. She's actually from Kazakhstan. She has a degree from a university in arts. She's an amazing sculptor, illustrator, but she's just an amazing assistant.
But watching her in the video of making those, was it 12 bridesmaids dresses?
Yes.
A small wedding.
Yeah, 12 bridesmaids. And each of the dress had custom flowers that we cut from silk chiffon, created the flower, hand sewn it on. But on the video, you actually saw... So whenever time I do a bridesmaid dresses or wedding dress, I like to give them a sketch of the actual dresses. And so in the video, Marshawn is actually doing a 3D dimensional sketch. And then she did real flowers out of paper that reflected of the dresses that we did. So
beautiful.
It was an amazing sketch with, like, you can feel the flower coming out. And I mean, it's like tiny little 1/16, 1/8 detail. We're like doing it with tweezers. It's insane. And that was just a gift, something we do just for the brides.
Well, something that you did are planning to do in the fall, right?
Yes.
Is
It's done.
It's done. You've already done it. It was called the Fall 2014 Trends. And tell us about that.
Well, it's with the fashion group of Houston. It's a FIG Fashion Group International, but we are part of the Houston group. And it was with Elaine Turner and Aubrey Lane. You know, Elaine Turner has an amazing store, accessory shoes and accessories. And Aubrey Lane's the premier makeup artist here with Vanity Lounge at West Ave. So it's really, you know, everything that you want to know about fashion, accessories, makeup, and fashion.
Is that an ongoing thing?
No, but if you join FIG here in Houston, that you really do get involved with all the local talents here, and we have meetings, once a month meetings, and you get to connect with all the other artistic talent in the town.
Now, there's something else that you did in the Rice Village, and that was when people went from store to store.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Oh, was it the fashion night?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You know, it hasn't happened for a while, but, I think we probably might do it again with the property owners and the landlord here in the Rice Village. But, yeah, back in the days, a few years ago, was fashion night, and it was a worldwide phenomenon, actually, where all the stores opened up late, and there was a big, ginormous party. And it was the biggest thing in New York. They did it in Paris.
Was that the one that Anna Wintour started?
Yes, Anna Wintour started. And so maybe Houston should have one.
Well, I think so.
Again.
It's like the White Linen Nights in the Heights.
Oh, yes.
I think you should do that. We're going to plan on it.
Okay.
Let's put out the press release.
I'll let you be in charge. I'll just show up.
I don't think they'd like my designs. I think I would be along the toga line as well.
Easy breezy.
Well, so do you see yourself opening up more stores?
I would love to open more stores. It takes coordination. It takes, understanding what it is to do on the other side. It takes more production and it takes more teamwork. But actually, that's probably my goal in a few years. I actually wanted to open another store, actually.
Do you have an area of town?
I'm actually thinking of the Woodlands.
Yeah, I was going to say, with all those Exxon people coming in.
Yes, I love the Exxon
They need
people.
couture.
Yes, everybody needs to get
They cannot be dressing ugly.
No, but actually, I think the Woodlands is an amazing market, and it's something that's close by instead of going to another city. You want to start small where you can control it and understand how it works. Distribution is, a concern since we still make everything locally. So you want to be able to hey, you need an address, let's drop it off and stuff.
Now, when you say you make it locally, is it like in your living room or?
I actually live and work in my design studio in the Heights. So half of my building, it's my house, and half of it's my design studio. So yes.
So a small operation, and it would take a bigger operation to accommodate more locations.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So are you hiring yet?
Not yet, but I will.
And in your store, you also sell jewelry.
Yes.
Now, is that some of the jewelry that you've designed?
No, it actually is a mixture of jewelry we buy at market. Then we showcase a local designer named Anime. It's her Temple Street line. But I actually just came from Magic, and I just found a research where I can manufacture my own jewelry line. So hopefully within a year, I might have some Chloe Dow accessory because it's really exciting.
I think that would be great.
I
You're
would
so
love to
creative.
do it.
I can't believe that you haven't. I mean, you started out with washers, my lord. I mean, goodness gracious.
It all boils down
Wash
to
your
time.
That's true, but you can teach people, right? Apprentices.
Yes, but teaching takes time.
It does. You're right. I'm just so excited for you, and I wish we had so much more time, and we still have a little bit left for more questions at DavidL2490 if you want to tweet them. But it's just so exciting to see someone with your background to come over here and just make it happen, and be so humble and gracious and willing to help other people and organizations. You don't find that often.
I would hope so. I think that actually what's great about this city is we're so open to helping each other.
That is true.
It really is. There's so many charity that goes around and help, each other. I mean, if I wanted to, I would probably go to a charity event every night. But, you just can't do that and run a business. But, this city is really about giving back. And it's really not about how much money you have or how much, where you're from. We give back to everyone. And,
right.
like someone asked about pets, yes, there's an organization for everything.
Yeah,
There
that's
it
right.
is.
That's right. We've only got a few minutes left, but I'd like to know, do you have a mantra or a philosophy that has inspired you or led you through to where you are now?
Great question. For the longest time, I lived by got to do more, got to be more, got to see more. That was from Dead Post Society. And then got really tired. So now it's just, live life, and define your own level of success, because you compare it to yourself to everyone. You're never going to succeed because someone's always going to be bigger, better, skinnier, richer. So be happy with yourself and, live life, love fashion.
And that's a great attitude. And is it hard for you to maintain that?
Well, I'm human. But, no. At the same time, I've always defined my own level of success. And live my life my own way, and I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm happy with my business and my life, my family, my husband. I'm happy to be me.
Well, you're very fortunate, and I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I want to remind people to go to ChloeDao.com. That's ChloeDao.com. Learn all the fabulous things that she's doing there. Stop by her store in the Rice Village. And next week we have Sam Cigar on the show, who is a coach for local soccer teams for youngsters, and that'll be an interesting show to listen to. So thank you for tuning in, and remember, just don't sit there, make it happen.
Outside city lights, the night will heat us, and the world will be ours. Got no money for the picture show.